Many residents in Lawrence Harbor could tell you just how much they love the waterfront. But this past April, the NJDEP considered adding it to a list of Superfund sites, an action that was finalized today. Since April, signs have been posted and fences were erected to keep people off the beach. The shoreline of the Raritan Bay in this area is contaminated with lead, arsenic, and slag material from the building of a seawall. Margaret's Creek, which separates Lawrence Harbor from Cliffwood Beach in Old Bridge Township, has seen elevated levels of lead, and the Cheesequake Creek Inlet in Sayreville is also contaminated. Adding these sites to the Superfund National Priorities List allows the EPA to determine the extent of contamination. Lawrence Harbor residents are glad the government is taking notice.
I think it's a great idea. I like to come fishing down here. I've lived here my whole life. I'd like to see it cleaned up.
It's apparent that residents can't wait to have their beach back. In Old Bridge, Theresa Lewis, News 12, New Jersey. It used to be a common occurrence in business deals. Take the clients out and land the deal. But since business meals became only 50% tax deductible, it's gotten difficult to get the company to pick up the tab.
I could feel the pressure from corporate coming down on us saying, well, we have to take a look at our expenses more when we go out to eat.
Ken Martin is enjoying an anniversary dinner with his wife, Mary. And as a businessman, he sometimes takes his clients out for a business meal. But with the struggling economy, those types of meetings have become increasingly lower, and it's taking a toll on the restaurants.
Lunches and business dinners make up a lot of what we do. But because they're not fully deductible, businesses are very loath to spend money on going out to a restaurant.
Francis Schott owns 2 restaurants in New Brunswick and explains that while taking new employees out to a baseball game is 100% tax deductible, taking them out to lunch is not. Restaurant owners hope that by restoring the full tax deduction, it'll bring business back and help fill up some of these empty tables.
I think it would free up money for us to do it even more. And the more we spend in restaurants, the better the restaurants do, and the more tax revenue comes in. So I think it's a win-win.
And with more business comes more jobs.
For every dollar that comes in, we create more jobs than anybody else. Because in order to get that extra $10,000 of business or $20,000 of business, we need to hire another person.
In New Brunswick, Theresa Lewis, News 12, New Jersey. Many students don't get to the 7th floor of University Hall too often, but that's just where I went to meet author Junot Diaz. The New Jersey native met first with faculty and the Latin American Student Organization for a discussion and Q&A session. I asked him if winning the Pulitzer had affected him in any way.
I mean, I think it hasn't changed much for me. It certainly has changed, one component, though. It's changed the life of my book. My book has gone all over the world in ways it never would have before.
Afterwards, students shuffled into the ballroom for refreshments, where Diaz read his short story, Alma, which included quite a bit of colorful language.
You, Junior, have a girlfriend named Alma, who has a long, tender horse neck and a big Dominican ass that seems to exist in a 4th dimension beyond genes.
Students then got a chance to ask questions and share their thoughts on his life and work in an open Q&A session.
Usually a piece of art is difficult because what you want that art to do to other people is to have the possibility that somebody could encounter your art and be transformed by it.
Diaz made sure his visit consisted mostly of interacting with the students, giving advice, and hoping that they could learn from his experiences. For Inside MSU, I'm Theresa Lewis. In honor of Latin Pride Month, Lasso and Lambda Sigma Upsilon set up a live wax museum featuring prominent Latin Americans like Rosario Dawson and America Ferrera. The 2 organizations had a variety of characters in their museum. The idea was to go around the room, tap the wax sculpture, and it would instantly come alive and talk about its life. At the end of the line, students came to a gift shop where they received a bag filled with treats. John Royal, a member of Lasso, portrayed Luis Miramontes Cardenas.
When I found out that he was basically one of the co-inventors of the contraceptive pill, I was like, that's perfect, that's who I want to be. So I thought it was a good fit for me, especially with what I want to do in my career.
The performers accurately portrayed their characters, dressing the part and memorizing facts about the life of their subject. From music artists to political leaders, the event showcased a great variety of Latino accomplishments. For Inside MSU, I'm Theresa Lewis.
I've got the stripper pole to work out with, okay? Because I'm not very conventional, not a clean little cookie cutter girl. I got asked at Home Depot the other day, I was buying paint, and the guy was like, oh, what do your tattoos mean? And I was like, nothing. And he was like, what? Every tattoo I have has a meaning. I was like, I wanted to like high five him or something, like good for you. Like mine don't, and I'm happy about that, but they're still awesome and they still look kick ass, so whatever. The Lick Monster is probably one of the only tattoos that really has a meaning to it at all.
Come on, hold on to it. Hold on to it. Come on, big pit bull. Big pit bull.
I got Bella when she was just a little puppy baby. She was only like this big, and she loves to lick people's faces. And I just, for some reason, one day, I was like, yo, she's such a lick monster.
Give Mom a kiss. Ew. Ew, she won't even look at me. Well.
And I just thought it was hilarious. And then one day I was sitting at work and I was like, I'm gonna get that tattooed on me. I mean, the only way I would regret it, I guess, is if I go to jail because it'll take on a whole different meaning at that point. But I don't think I will, so it's okay.
This one's one of my favorites.
When I first got into modeling, I just loved the fact that there was billboards and stuff, and you could be pretty much a part of someone's art. I started off with my regular name, Carrie Dingle, but I didn't like it. I've never liked my name. So, I mean, that was one of the reasons that I changed it to Cadell. That's when I got signed by Race. They want you to be something specific, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not with them anymore, is because of the fact that I don't meet their industry standards. I mean, I had to change everything, and now I went back to just, you know, doing what I want. People put too much into tattoos. It's an art form. All the other tattoos are just from artists that I love, and, you know, my Salvador Dali piece and my other pieces from Alex Pardee and Greg Crayola, they're just artists that I've seen their pictures, and it almost like inspires me to get it. That's art that is very unique. Not many people like Salvador Dali's work because a lot of it's provocative and a lot of things that people don't understand. I just think that surrealism really takes a part of people's minds out that you normally wouldn't see. Basically, I looked in these magazines and I became inspired by a couple models that I've seen. One was Mosh. I went on Mosh's profile and found out some photographers that she's worked with before and decided that I wanted to work with the same, because that's the kind of stuff I want to be doing. I can't wait to get my portfolio up to speed with my personality and how I am today, and I'm so glad that I don't have to change anything. Worst case scenario, I'll have awesome pictures of me, so I don't care.